I was just in some meditation and some particular topics came up. I thought, oh, that's really interesting. I wonder if we could talk about that. And so then another one came, and another one went, okay, I need to write this down. So a couple of video topics. Right? Something that I found was that you lie until you feel safe enough to tell the truth. So let's talk about that one to begin with. When we look at it from a parts perspective, internal family systems, parts, there's a part of me that procrastinates, there's a part of me that is quite anxious, part of me that gets frustrated at times. So these parts, they visit us at particular times of our day, depending on the environment that we're in. So the environment is what's happening externally, and then the environment of what's happening internally, and how this internal experience of you as a human being, through the mind, through the body, is interpreting the environment, and if it's feeling safe or if it's feeling a threat. So when it's feeling a threat, you're more likely to have parts visit you for a period of time to protect you. What I found today, and it was really interesting because with my mother, I used to lie a lot, and that lying would create shame and guilt, negative cognitions of, I'm a bad boy, I'm not a good person. I need to lie to be liked. That could have even been something there too. Yeah, there was some fatuousness around making up things. So there'll be a part of me that lies, and there might be a part of you that lies, and some of you might go, well, Maurice, honesty is it's my core value, and I always tell the truth. And then I'd say, okay, you might tell the truth and be honest. You might be all of the time. I don't know. I think it's good to be aware that it's a percentage. I'm pretty much 89% truthful. That 11%, I might embellish the truth, or I might not say something because I want to protect the other person. I want to protect me, protect the system, the wider system. So see how lying gets a really bad rap. It's dishonest, you're betraying somebody, that sort of thing. So notice where in your system that you may not tell the truth. So it's not necessarily, well, I don't lie, Maurice, I just don't give all of the truth. Oh, okay. I give a certain context of the truth. So there's a shifting away from the truth to my truth. And these parts that might not tell the truth come from a place of fear. And so a lie or not telling the truth is probably more so coming from, I don't feel safe enough to tell the truth. I don't, someone asks me, in a relationship, are you happy in our relationship? And if you're going to go, of course I am, rather than going, well, actually, this is what's happening for me. So if I feel safe enough to say that, then I have, there's in a sense a permission of the space that inhabits you and the other person, you and you. And where that space is there, then there's this permission to tell the truth. And the truth about yourself, people go, hey, how are you? Yeah, I'm doing really good. Oh, hang on, how are you? I'm asking, how are you? And, in therapy, in communicating with others just on a daily basis, I'm good at inquiring. And when I am inquiring, I'm actually curious and interested. Well, how are you? What's alive within you at the moment? What are you being visited by? Which part is more present? Which part wants to speak? Which part wants to have a voice? And see, therapy allows that space to be held where people can tell the truth about their experience to another, rather than hiding it and truncating it and maybe even fabricating it to keep safe. And remember too that in keeping safe, this part that does that has good intention of protecting the system, because there might have been an experience where it was created, or multiple experiences where it can gather evidence to suggest that it's not safe to tell the truth. It's not safe to show vulnerability. It's not safe to ask a question. So notice that that part in you, and when you can start to notice that part within you, you can then also notice other parts within you that then have particular roles, and they're protective in nature, and they will have particular behaviours. So remember too that parts have a belief system, so each part has a belief system it needs to protect at all costs, at these costs, when this happens. It will look at life in a particular way. It'll have a dialogue that's related to the belief system, just as we as the larger system have. It will have a feeling state, so if I'm not speaking my truth, maybe I start to get there's a bit of constriction in the throat. If I'm feeling overwhelmed, it's in the shoulders. I carry a lot, so it's a big burden that I carry, and it's on my shoulders and my neck. Thank you, part. And it has a behaviour, so it does stuff. Even addiction is a part. Dependence of reaching for, pushing away. See the behaviour that's associated to it. So each part. So when those things are happening, there's a part of you that's doing it. And you are not the part. You're the awareness of the part. And from an internal family systems approach, that is self energy. So I've got other videos around that. I'll see if I can find the links and I can put them underneath as well. So that's what I found today. You lie until you feel safe enough to tell the truth. And basically, it's because the lying or the embellishment of the truth, or not giving all of the information, is actually done from a protective mechanism. And if we could see it that way, we'd maybe have a greater compassion for it, and we could also speak to it and update the information, because sometimes those parts are very, very young, and they're created at a particular age in our lives, and they're still stuck in that time. So for me, definitely there would be, a 6 or a 7-year-old part that would lie to my mother about particular things. I can remember it now because I didn't feel safe enough to tell the truth. Not that she ever flogged me, but she'd get my ear and twist it, and it wasn't very, very nice. So it's a very young part. So when it does come, I can then, as self-energy, have an internal dialogue to recognize it and say, hey, little one, the system is different at the moment. There's enough self-energy here to feel safe. So self-energy comes from it's already safe. So when you tap into that self-energy, the essence of you, you already are safe. And so if you already are safe, you can give that safety to the one that doesn't feel safe internally. And you can listen to it, and you can update it, give it context. I'm 53, the part may have been, say, 12. That's 40 years that this part is looking at life. It's gathering information based upon what its experience was when it was 12 years old, not as the adult that's 53. So as the adult that's 53, I can then use this process of internal, what they call imaginative nurturing, and thank you, Alison Navarro, for introducing me to that, and this beautiful IFS and EMDR. Imaginative nurturing is this conversation that the older, wiser, you could say you, and the younger, that doesn't understand. And from a self perspective, this beautiful, non-judgmental, compassionate, curious space. From a spiritual perspective, the self could actually be the closest of what consciousness, spirit, soul would feel like, because it's already safe. And then there's this human experience that we're having with these parts that are appearing at particular times. Anyway, you lie until you feel safe enough to tell the truth. So you'll stay safe and you'll lie until you feel as though the internal and the external environment is safe enough for you to tell the truth. And then when you tell the truth, that can become very liberating, because you're finding about you, even speaking to you about it. Hope you found that helpful. Yeah, I love it when I find these little things and go, whoa, that's just, that sounds pretty true. Let's or that resonates with me. Let's check it out. So that's that one.